Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we have another ABC collab. I'm doing G. It is going so well. Oh, I'm loving it, and I am, please do not think that I'm ignoring you. I am working my way through, but so many of you lovely creators have joined in with our collab, and yeah, it's a lot, but I am absolutely loving it. You are all doing such an amazing job. It's so good. It's so good. Thank you all so much. I mean, so much fun. So much fun. So today we're doing G, and we have the calendar. So the way the calendar works is that me and Margaret decided to split the days between her regular scheduled videos and mine. So Margaret is doing the Monday, the Wednesday and the Thursday, and I do the Tuesday, the Friday and the Saturday, and then we've got Sundays off. So that's how we've worked out the collab between both of us, because I had just done Mass Make March, and yeah, doing another full month would have been a lot. So I'm doing letter G. Now we do have a prompt list, and the prompt list and the calendar are both available on my Kofi site, which I will link in the description box down below. So G, we've got grunge, gesso, geography, gussets and glue. So I'm going to speak a little bit about glue, because I do get asked a lot of questions about what kind of glue I use. And then, shall I do grunge? I don't know if I want to do grunge, because grunge is very similar to distress. I mean, it's not, but it is, if you get me. Like, you distress to make something look grungy. So, but I might touch on it a little bit. So I'm going to do a little bit about glue, and then we're going to talk about glue, because I do get an awful lot of questions about what glue I use. So I use Belly Arts glue, and I get it in the pack where you get the little bear with it as well. So you get the refillable 11 fluid ounces refillable for the 4 ounce bottle, and it lasts me ages, absolute ages. So it is worth every penny. So there's Belly Arts. There is also glue stick, and I have a few glue sticks. I have this that I got a big, I think it was a 24 pack off of Amazon. It's okay, but by the time you get halfway down, it turns very sticky, and yeah, it's just doesn't stick very well. So I also have some of Tonic Studio's Funky Stick as well, and I believe it goes on purple and it dries clear, so you can see where you've put it, which is really good. So I have glue sticks as well. There is also art glitter glue that Margaret uses. Also very awesome, very awesome. Art glitter glue is really good. The reason why I like Belly Arts is because you can use it on vellum and tracing paper and stuff like that. So yeah, and I do think with Belly Arts, as much as it is a quick drying glue, you also have a bit more wiggle room than you do with art glitter glue. Art glitter glue tends to be, when it's down, couple of seconds and it's down, that's not coming up. And you know me, when I'm always like, oh, can I rip that up? Oh, I want to put that under there, and yeah, I need a bit of a bit of wiggle room. So yeah, there is art glitter glue as well. There is also Fabri-Tac that a lot of creators also like to use. Now I do like to use Fabri-Tac, but in the UK it's very expensive. But yeah, just for a small bottle now, I think it's mainly because it is American, and we struggle to get this over here, so unless it's imported we won't get it. So there is that. There's also things like collage medium and glossy accents can also be used as glue as well. So there's those. And they all have their purposes. Fabric, again, when you're making journals, if you want to put a fabric cover on it, is perfect. It also you know, lace and things like that, leather, wood and stuff. If you want to put anything like that on your projects, Fabric is brilliant. Paper products and stuff like that, these are really well, work really well. What I tend to do is, if I'm working with anything that's like 90 grams in weight, like copy paper, then I would use glue stick, because I just, using this is, you just don't need to. But if it's cardstock, anything over 100 grams, I reckon I will use Barely Arts glue. So, because these I don't think are strong enough for the heavier weight cardstock. So that's how I use my glues. Right, so let's talk a little bit about grunge. Grunge is so wide. The spectrum of grunge is so wide. It can be anything. It can be coffee dyed papers, it can be grit paste or texture paste or crackle paint or anything like that. It can be considered as grunge. Just normal distress can be considered as grunging something up to try and give it a vintage feel, which is what we try to go for, because that's the whole point of junk journaling. So I have these papers, and this is my birthday freebie. So let me just get these. These are available on my Kofi, and the link is in the description box down below. So if you want to go and grab these, then yeah, pop over to my Kofi. It was just a little freebie I designed to just say thank you everybody for my happy birthdays. And there are 5 sheets, 5 backgrounds, and look at those. They're all grungy, they're all distressed. So this can be considered as grunge. This here at the top here, grunge, lots of grunge. So these are just some examples of some grunge. Also, I have a big pile here of distressed and coffee dyed papers. So these are something I did in Mass Make March when I was playing with my sprays, my distress sprays, and I just created a load of backgrounds, and they could all be considered as distress, yep, absolutely, but also as grunge. This round here could be considered as something had leaked on the page and caused a grungy stain and stuff. So these could be definitely considered as grunge. So you can make grunge with just your oxides and your distress sprays. So we have some coffee dyed papers here. This could be something where someone spilt a coffee on a vintage invoice and it's caused a grungy effect. The same as coffee dyed graph paper, and all these bits and pieces that I have coffee dyed can all be considered as grunge. They've got some labels here, and I did this in the was it D for distress? I think it was, when I went into depth about coffee dyeing. I mean, look at all these. They're just all so cool. So there's those. I also used my watercolor paints and grunged up lots and lots of just sheets of white cardstock and graph paper, all different colours. They could also be considered as grunge. So I'm gonna get one of my sheets that I used, and I'm gonna get a stencil. and we're going to talk about how we get the grunge effect with pastes. So here is a few of the items that I use if I want to make something really grungy. I usually do these techniques around Halloween because I can really get away with being grungy and just really, yeah. So first off, gesso, any kind of gesso. This is heavy gesso by Finnabar, but you can use any kind of gesso. You will get a gorgeous grungy effect if you just put some gesso on a sheet of paper or cardstock and dry it with your heat tool. If you hold the heat tool on it, it bubbles and cracks, and then when it's dry, it just gives you this really gorgeous texture, which then you can go over with distress sprays or alcohol ink or distress paints. So that's gesso. We've got crackle paste, and we've got opaque and translucent, and we also have, it's not here, why is it not here, I didn't pick it up, crackle paint. So the difference between crackle paste and crackle paint, I find, is that with crackle paste you get more of a bigger crack in it, whereas crackle paint, it's very fine, it's more like shattered glass, and they're both really, really cool effects. So that's the crackle paste. Then we have lots of different kinds of textured paste. So we have opaque, we have grit paste snowfall, we have texture paste black, and we have crypt, and then this is a new one that I brought from Cosmic Shimmer that is a texture paste as well. Now there is, I'm pretty sure, a video many years ago where I make my own texture paste. So I have this cool little tub here, and it's texture powder by Finnabar. Now this mixed with something like this will give you texture paste. So that's to make your own, and then you can colour it with your paints or your distress sprays or your alcohol inks or anything like that. You can change the colour, and it is a very fine powder, as you can see, but it causes really cool texture. So there's an option for some texture. So you can make grungy things really cool. So once you've used all these, this is one of my favourites. Once you've used all these, how then to decorate them and make them look even more grungy? So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the texture paste and the grit paste. So let's just move these to the side, and I'm going to get my piece of paper and then a spatula. Just going to take a small amount. I'm going to turn it sideways, it might be a little bit easier. And I'm going to put this in the corner, and then I'm not bothered if I miss bits. So like I've missed some of the 6 there. That doesn't bother me, because it just gives more of effect. So I'm just going to lift that off there like that. And then what I've got left on my palette, on my knife, I'm just gonna smoosh it around the edge. And this might be a little bit better if I lay it down, because then I can put some pressure on it. So I'm just putting some around the edges, and then you can just scrape that bit up. and then put that aside to dry. I like to let mine air dry, but you don't have to. Like I said, you can cause more grunge if you heat dry it, because it bubbles and gives you lots of texture. So that's that one. Then, do you know what? In fact, I'm going to cut this in half. Let's cut it down here. And then let's do another one. So we'll put this up here just to dry. And then I'm going to use the Texture Paste Opaque. Looks like whipped cream. And this time I'm going to use the top of the stencil. So I'm just going to just going round parts, not all of it. And you can't see it at the moment. Well, you can. Can you just see that on there like that? So then, again, I'm going to take the rest of it and I'm just going to smear it along the bottom. And maybe a little bit up the side. You don't have to cover all of it. See where I've left that? Oh, sorry. See where I've left that corner? That will also give you some really cool texture when we come to do the other part of this. So we're just going to spread it around. And then let's put a little bit on this side as well. And then just going to slide your spatula, it's a little bit sticking up there, around the edges, and then we're going to leave that bit to dry as well. Right, so I've got another piece and another piece of card. I mean, that, just look at that. That already looks grungy. So, and then we're just going to mark these on here. And all these can all be used as pieces of ephemera. So let's just make it look like some are coming off the page. Like that. And there we have, if I can get it up. There we go. Look at that. It's just so cool. So what we've got left, just gonna scrape some on. And then we're going to leave that one to dry too. So now we're going to be using the texture powder. Now there is many ways for you to make homemade texture paste at home. You can mix collage medium with baking soda and white paint, or black paint if you want black texture paste. You can use corn flour. You can add to paint to thicken it, and it will thicken the paint and cause a bit of texture. You can add a little bit of glue to that just to make it a little bit more pliable. Just Google homemade texture paste on YouTube, or not Google, search homemade texture paste on YouTube. There's like so many videos, but I'm going to show you how I do it with the texture powder. Where's my spatula? So I've just got some white gesso here. It's just normal white gesso, and I'm just scooping. I need a new one. I don't use it that often anymore, so. And then I'm just gonna take some of the powder, and depending on how texturized you want it, just gonna mix it round. And like I said, depending on how texturized you want it, that depends on how much you add. So I want it a little bit more. So I'm just going to add a little sprinkle more. I might just add a little bit of water just to make it so it's a little bit more manageable. And it's already getting thicker, so a little bit more. It's literally, it's all up to you. It's up to you how you want it. There's no measurements. Just add a little bit, mix it up, add a little bit more if it's not textured enough for you. And then that, can you see that texture in there? It's already getting some texture in it, which is so cool. Right, so look, I'm already getting messy. Now we have some more texture paste. What I'm going to do on this is I'm just going to go around the edges with it. So I'm just going to grab a big splodge and just slide around the edges. And can you see the texture in that from that powder? It's so cool. It's just so cool. And like I said, this is the kind of project I like to do around Halloween. So I'm just gonna, taking my spatula and I'm just grazing over the edges, because I want to soften the edges. And can you see what it does? So it's still raised, but grazing it with the side of your spatula just kind of blends it into the paper, and that makes a really cool effect when you come to put all the other mediums over the top. So let's just put what we've got left. And I'm gonna slide some bits just like that as well. So then we have, I mean, that is going to make such a cool background. So again, I'm just going to take my spatula and I'm just going to run it down the edge like that. Put some more on, or some more texture, because you can never have enough grunge. And then we're going to let that dry. Right, so while that's drying, we have these, and they're nice and dry now as well. So I think I'm just going to chop that off there. And then what we could do is, to make it look more grungy, just rip down in the line of where we stenciled, like that. I mean, it's just so cool. It's just so cool. And then we're going to take, if I can find it, Right, so I was looking for my little distress tool because I was looking for my Tim Holtz one, but I can't find it. So I'm using the one that goes on the end of my craft knife. So I'm just going around the edges. And I'm really going rough. I'm not bothered if it rips or anything, because this is how you're going to get the grunge that you're looking for. I mean, if you want to do this kind of grunge, you don't have to. If you're more than content with just distressing your coffee dye paper and stuff like that, you do you. That's absolutely fine. I just want to show you some other ways that you can grunge up your pieces of ephemera, or your pages, or your covers. And then we've got this bit here. Like I said, I'm really going, oh, got a load stuck down my nail. I'm really going rough. I'm not bothered. That, I don't care. That's what I want. So there we go. Let's just get rid of the paper dust. And now what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take my gesso. Now, if you're going to do this, if you're going to go over the top with your gesso, then just remember that if you want to then go over it with distress sprays or something like it will soak into the gesso. So there is clear gesso as well. You don't need to use white. There is clear gesso that you can use. So I'm just going to get a paintbrush, and then we're just gonna just go over the top. And I'm not going over all of it. And then what I want to do, just for some reason I managed to get a big splodge of it on my finger. Right, so what I want to do is I want to show you what happens when you heat gesso. So, did you see that? Did you see how it bubbles like that? And then just push it down when it's not too hot. Push it down like that and look at the crinkles that you get. So it will bubble up and then push it down. And then you've got so much really cool texture, and the more gesso you put on, the more of an effect you're going to get. How cool is that? It's so cool. Right, so I've got my glass mat up, you know what that means. I've also made myself a little makeshift, I just want to get that bit off, spray box. So it's just with a little box that I've got, put a piece of paper in like that, so it's not going to go everywhere. So I'm going to put this piece in first, And I'm just going to roll it up. And then I think I'm going to use some, just going to spray it with some water first, just so it's got something to spread around. And I'm going to use scorched timber. Just like that. And then add it so you've got a little bit more movement. And look at that already. How cool is that? So now we're just going to move it round a little bit. Take it out. Let's put our little spray box up there. And then I'm going to dry it. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? It's the wrong way up. No, it's not. How cool is that? You can still kind of see some of the letters underneath, but that's the point. You're not supposed to make out what it is. And where you can see the bits where I have left just the paper, the scorched timber has really grabbed hold of it. It looks so cool, but we're not going to stop there. So I'm going to take my little box back, and this time I'm going to get my vintage photo. Just wipe the nozzle. And then I'm just going to spray round like that. Give it a bit of water just so it's got some movement. You don't want it to go everywhere. And then look at that. Oh, it just looks so grungy. So grungy. So I'm just gonna take off some of the pulls and then I'll give that a dry. Ta-da! Look how grungy that looks. Oh, it's so cool. But we're not stopping there. This is serious grunge now, people. This is serious grunge time. This is. You don't have to do this if oh no, that's too much for me. You do you. It's absolutely fine. But I love grunge, and sometimes I really, like I said, Halloween, I love it. So I'm gonna put a glove on. Because I'm going to get some alcohol ink. And what I'm going to do is, can you see above here? This is where the dark colour, this is where there was no gesso, no paste or nothing. This is just what the sprays have taken on the cardstock. So round this side, this is why I distress the edges. I'm not even squeezing, I'm just letting the paper take whatever comes out. Like that. Just around the grungy areas. Like I said, I'm not squeezing, it's just coming out on its own. And then give it a little, and then because you've got your gloves on, just smoosh it round. And again, just going around the edges. I mean, this is definitely some hardcore grunge. But I love it. I love it. Look at that. Let me turn it sideways. Look at that. Oh, how delicious is that? So we're going to let that dry. I don't know what was going on with my hand then. We're going to let that dry completely. And then we're going to take our little crit paste. And we're going to get our little spray box, and we're going to, do you know what? Let's do a little experiment. So I'm going to take my Kofi and do a bit of easy grunge. Now, just with the crit paste, And that's some easy grunge just there. How cool is that? So we could go a little bit further and take the ground espresso and just go around the edges. And then that's all grungy. How cool is that? Right, so then we have the black paste as well. And again, I'm going to do a bit of scorched timber, and I'm just proper covering it. A little bit of water. Oh, it's just calling out for Halloween. Look at that. It's like, looks like something, like a piece of an old door somewhere. It's just, it just looks so cool. Right, so now where is my... Right, so we also have a few of these. So these are metallic waxes by Finnabar, and there is also a luster wax by Sizex that I've got as well. So I'm gonna give this one is called Firebird. This is my favorite one, this one. I've had it for years and it smells amazing. And then I'm just gonna lightly rub over the top. Let's just take that bit off. And then look at that little bit of grunge around there. I mean, look at that. How cool does that look? Look at that bit there. It's just so cool. So now I think I'm going to give it a go with a bit of the gold. You just need a teeny weeny bit. I think the gold I'm just going to take around the edges. How stunning is that? And this is why I wanted to just stress the edges the way I did, because can you see just at the top here, I get a little bit more gold and then just run my finger down the edge like that. Look at that. Oh, it's delicious. It's just delicious. I love it. Absolutely love it. Could be an old leather piece of armour. This could be leather, and it could just be a piece of fabric that you've taken, that you found, or a piece of a wooden door or something like that. But it's just so cool, and is going to make a really gorgeous element. And you can always take it to a bigger scale as well. Right, so we're going to go back to this one, because what I want to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my gesso, if I can find where my palette knife's gone. So I'm just going to take a little slither. Sorry if you can hear the noise in the background. The farmers are out farming their fields. So, and obviously because we live in the country, we're surrounded by farmers' fields and they need to work, so it might be a little bit noisy and the dogs might bark. So I'm just going to take my brayer and I'm just bouncing up and down until it's fully covered, and then I'm just going to and this should pick up all the raised pieces of texture on this. And I know you're probably thinking, but why, Toni? Why have you've just literally put all the sprays and the coffee spray and everything over the top, and then you go over it with gesso? Because you can still see it. Look at that. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? And you can do the same with this one. It's still a little bit damp, so I mean, look at the state at the back. I mean, that's gorgeous in itself. So we have this one. Look at that texture paste that we made. Oh, how delicious is this? It's just, oh, I love it. I just love it. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to put it back. This is messy work. The grunge is messy, but it's fun. Right, so first I'm going to spray this with my coffee spray, just as a base. Take off. So grunge does not have to be dark and black and Halloweeny. It can also be very shabby chic as well. And that is just our our texture paste that we made with some coffee over the top. And you can do what I just did by getting the gesso, just like that. Get in your brayer. You don't want a lot on, so take some of it off and just go in over the top. And picking up some of the raised texture parts like that. You can also take your palette knife and just scrape around the edges as well. And there you have a shabby chic piece of grunge background. How gorgeous is that? Oh, I love it. And this is why I put a glove on. So now I'm just going to spray a bit of water on this gesso. Try and bring it all into the middle, because I want to do the same thing on the real grungy one. So I want to take this one and just pick up some of the paint and then just lightly go over the top, and then that picks up the stenciling. Can you see the Q and the U, the Y, the Z, the question mark, the C, the B, all up here? How cool does that look? Oh, it just looks so cool. So cool. So here are 4 examples of some real amazing grunge. So before I go, I just want to got another G, distress glaze. This stuff can be used over the top of your oxides. It basically seals them in. So I'm going to get this piece, and then I'm just going to, just like a lip balm, just take a little bit of it off, and then just rub over the top. And then, I don't know, can you see that? Can you see that compared to that there? It's basically a glaze that just, it seals it in. So then you get that. I mean, look at, tell me now that doesn't actually look like a piece of armor or a piece of leather. I mean, you could even get to the point where you could crumple it up and then you've got a real cool kind of old piece of, can you see that? Where you've got the creases in it. So it could, this could be a piece of the missing medieval book that everybody's looking for. And this is the proof that it's real. Oh, look at that. A lovely piece of leather. Grungy leather. Love it. So this, like I said, this can go over the top of your distresses and stuff like that. It also makes them look really vibrant as well. Oh, I love it. I just love it. And then we could just look at that for a little piece of gorgeous collage. Just that there. Oh, it's so grungy. It's so cool. I absolutely love it. So I hope that I answered some of your questions about grunge. Like I said, this isn't just the only way that you can grunge. You watch me grunge and distress all day long. Every video I do it. So I thought I would try something a little bit different to show you that there's many ways that something can be grunged. And this, oh, I just absolutely love this. This would be perfect as a journal cover. And like I said, you can go larger. I've just done small bits because of time restraints and stuff like that. So you can always do big pieces like journal covers and stuff like that as well. What I do suggest though is that you work on something that is about 140 grams up. So I wouldn't do this on copy paper or anything like 100 grams, 90 grams, 80 grams, anything like that, because it just wouldn't withstand all the mediums and the water and the inks and stuff like that. So yeah, quite a sturdy cardstock. Less love scrapbook paper. You could use that, and you could totally, anything that you probably wouldn't use, you could just do this over the top, because you can't see any of the paper, well, apart from this one, but these ones, you can't see any of the paper that was underneath. So what a perfect way to use up the paper that you know you're not going to use. So yeah, thank you everybody. If you have any questions, leave me a comment and I will get straight back to you. And don't forget to come back for my next video, which is Friday, because we're going to be using some of these in Friday's video as well. So yeah, come back and see how I use them in Friday's video. It's going to be so much fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. Don't forget to tag me in socials. All my socials are in the description box down below. They're also at the end of the video. And all the information that you need about the collab is in the description. My Kofi and Margreth's Kofi is in the description as well. And I will see you all in my next video. Happy crafting, everybody, and take care. Bye.